we can't do anything about it.
What about, have you caught any drag racers? I mean, have you caught, the letter talks about people dragging on a regular basis down Floral or whatever it is, and I'm curious whether you've either, that has, somebody's been caught, do you know, or if you've gotten any more reports about that? Is that they've moved on to someplace else, or?
Well, I'll defer the numbers to TA here.
As far as drag racing, there hasn't been, that I can see, any citations for it, but there have been traffic stops. I'm seeing stop signs, traffic lights, nothing for drag racing. And a word on the drag racing, if you call and say, hey, I got a car drag racing down the 4200 block of Ashland Avenue, and that beat one car is all the way up at Montgomery and Williams, obviously that car is going to be gone by the time we get there. And I'm looking at the complaints that we're getting, and I'm looking at Ashland Avenue from January 1st until April 10th. And I ran all of Ashland Avenue. It's not just one address. I put in Ashland Avenue, give me everything that we got that contained Ashland Avenue. 36 calls were dispatched. To be quite honest with you, in looking at these, I don't know if people aren't leaving their names when they call, but I could not find the subject that wrote that letter's name once. So unless they're not leaving the name, or they're saying, hey, I just want to let you know that there's a drag race, just let your cars know, and they're not making an official run out of it. Because I'm looking and I see noise complaints, fights, auto accidents, suspicious persons, all the way down, but I can't find, except for maybe one or two times when somebody had called in reference to a car. So as far as drag racing complaints, no, we haven't cited anybody for that, but we have issued citations. There were several for speed, several for other traffic violations. Any council member, whoever wants any of these numbers, my office is downstairs, most of you know me, call me. I have no problems running and letting you know how many traffic stops we had on Ashland Avenue, or how many trouble runs. But 36 runs, and out of that, we had how many traffic stops? And these traffic stops could have been from any part of town. Just on Ashland Avenue alone, I don't have any traffic stops, but the other 37 runs on Lafayette, 7 on Adams Avenue, 31 on Jefferson Avenue. The highest number actually was Floral Avenue. And a lot of these noise complaints I read, in his letter he had vandalisms, criminal damaging. Once again, these people have to call, because we don't know what's going on if they don't call. And I'm not finding criminal damage reports in here. So if these people are just spraying off their houses and spraying off their cars, we don't know about it. They're not calling because it's not in here. Anything that we would have been dispatched for would be in here. And I have one car that was spray painted, and that's it. Nothing about eggs, trouble with signal 20s. It's all, which is juveniles, it's all neighborhood, people who live there. The ones that I found, here's 2 kids hanging out on the corner, but they live on that street. We had 3 male blacks and a male white hanging out, but they all lived at this house. So once again, I think it's boiling down that people have to call, they have to give the addresses, they have to give descriptions, and if you don't think anything's going to happen and you don't call, that's why we're not seeing it here. Because, just calling and saying, hey, I just want to let you know this, and I don't want you to send anybody out, it's not going to get us to say, oh, look, Ashland Avenue is showing an awful lot of criminal damages on 3rd shift. Let's start concentrating a night patrol down there. We are having some directed patrols now, and I can tell you the business checks on Smith and Lafayette for the bank right there, there's got to be a cruiser in the area, because how many business checks we have that they're calling off during the day. So they're down there. It's just, big black and white cruisers easy to see. Obviously, the people aren't going to do it when we're in plain sight. So, you know, I just want everybody to call. If you think it's meaningful, doesn't matter, call. That's what we're here for.
And just to go on that, we're looking for, I believe eggings were mentioned in here. That's going to cause damage to, it may or may not cause damage to your car, and whether it does or not, some people don't think that they, in their mind, may say, well, I don't want to bother them with that, I'll just hose my car off and that's it. That's fine. We may not necessarily have to take a report, a criminal damage report or a criminal mischief report for that. They can always call and just say, I just want to let you know what's going on in my area. My car got egged last night, and I know my neighbor down the street, or something to that effect. We can simply make a notation on our daily report, and that lets the beat officer know, hey, this is going on. Now I need to have a look out for. And we've told businesses this for years. Kids pulling in at 11 o'clock at night into one of our local Quick Marts, UDFs, or something, speedways, and buying 2-3 dozen eggs, they're not getting them from mom.
It's a big egg breakfast.
Call us. We tell you, if you see kids coming in buying, four 4-packs of toilet paper or something to that effect, they're not out there. They're not making a run for an errand run. They're out there, they're going to be doing that. They're going to be getting somebody's house. So call us. And that's why we try to keep in touch with businesses also to give us that information.
So that reminds me of what you told me about. I remember you at one point, this is several years ago, saying if you see them rolling 3 or 4 kegs into the house, call us then, so we know that something will probably happen.
That's what we call those red flags or clues.
Right.
That there's going to be something there tonight, some type of situation, and that's please call us.
Don't wait.
Because we're going to want to know that 4 half-barrels rolled into that guy's house, and now he's got friends coming home or coming by, and we kind of figured why. So yeah, that's what we want to know, things like that, and that's exactly why. The UDFs aren't going to be selling the half-barrels, but the neighbors are going to see the kids rolling the half-barrels in. So call us and say, hey, here's a heads up.
Just a word that it does actually work. Our family house on Franklin Avenue was egged one night in cars. We heard it hit, ran out while somebody was calling, gave some pursuit to the individuals. We here wound up by calling right away. The police officer patrols were able to corner the individuals who did it. But by the time we had called,
sorry about that.
they were
Yeah, me too. Mr. Barley,
but there was,
apologize too.
they had calls on Sherman Avenue, on Franklin Avenue, Tilden Avenue. It was the same group of kids that were causing the same problem throughout West Norwood. Ultimately, by everybody calling and leaving their name and what damages were done, it wound up going downtown to juvenile court, and actually the kids were actually prosecuted down there and did their restitution and their damages. But if other people didn't call, it would have looked like it was just a one random act. But here, by everybody else calling, they knew, hey, we got like a trail of what was going on. So it does work when you do call. So it does help to participate. It is fruitful. So.
And one of we want to go back to the traffic, quality of life issues. These cars driving down the street with the stereos, we've got that ordinance. Call. I could hear this guy. His stereo was thumping 3 blocks away, and I heard him coming all the way down the street. And I heard him, after he was around the corner and down halfway down Smith Road or whatever. That's another one of those things that people say, well, he's just driving down the street. Well, right, but it's still a violation of the law, and it's something that an officer is going to find a lot easier than, you don't have to witness that. All you got to do is follow it, follow the sound, and, call. Please call.
I've tried on those. I can't catch them. It seems like they're always going past my house. I look out and it's halfway down the street, and you're like, man.